Well, welcome back, everybody. Um, last we left our heroes, we had cleaned out the mines in Dorahl of the invading Doragar. Um, upon some inspection, you found a gem that was charged up with transmutation magic that you learned was the source of the storm cloud hovering around the city. You also found something on the person of the Temerity clone, a piece of paper with a sparkling blue gem on it that was labeled the clavis, which through some good history checks, you all recall that this item is tied into the history of magic itself in this world. And significant as it was, the item itself was lost to time. Uh, But it can be safely assumed that this is the item that the Duergar were looking for in this mine, and so far has not turned up. Um, Afterwards, you made your way back to the Iron Knight Inn, where you got Father Vincent to uh, write out a scroll of Dispel Magic for you, which, once it was complete, Nariko took it with the gem, or took it with the gem that you found that was powering the storm cloud, along with some lightning rods, and dispelled it. And now you have just a pretty hefty chunk of quartz that seems to be programmable for you. And that is where we left off. You are sitting in the inn celebrating your victory. Night is falling, and um, with that, I will lead it back to you guys as we return to the Iron Knight Inn. Nariko fresh back from
I
her
think
snore. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I think with the gem deactivated and the skies clear and night coming, I think we were going to originally kind of reconvene in the private rooms to discuss some stuff and make plans for tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that was what we were gonna do.
Great. So the night begins to wane down as you guys start to head back to your room. This man at the bar here, kind of in garb like a messenger. He's wearing a sailor's jacket. Um, he kind of approaches the lot of you, Reverie being the closest, and he says, "I would really like to share your story. I'm heading off to Point Pleasant myself. The world must know of the deeds that you've done here and what good you've done. Tell me, do you have a name for your group?"
You want to share our story?
Yes. Uh, Everyone must know of the good that you and your companions have done for this town, and it's definitely going to uh, liven up it's going to liven up the morale now that trade is returning.
I look to Ren, who is next to me. Do we have a name?
No.
Should we make one up?
Such as. Out of character. Don't say it, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it.
Are we all? Is this while we're all
I-
still there before we all leave to go to the
Yeah,
go to
as
the
you
room?
guys are, as the night is winding down, Father Vincent and Olaf and Gimli are starting to head out themselves. The miners are starting to basically fall asleep at the table.
Suzanne, I will never say it. Don't worry.
Someone actually came up with a good one that I liked a lot recently, and I'm trying to find it.
Was it the one that I posted?
Which one did you post?
I posted. Hold on. Let me.
There were like 10 of them.
There were a bunch. There were
Someone came in with like just a single one.
Yeah, that was mine, I think. I could be wrong because there are others.
I'd like to put in a vote for Don't Fear the Reaper.
The character.
It's
like
it's
the
a good
Mystic
one.
Machinas or the Mystic
Right, it was something like
Mystic
it was like
Mechanas.
Mystic
Mystic
Mechanic.
Mechanicus or something.
Mystic Mechanicus.
Mechanicus, there it is. Mystic Mechanicus. That's what I
So we can
I'll
just
be
call
honest,
it
I really like that one. It covers a good chunk of the party because we're pretty magic heavy.
Yeah.
I'm down for it.
Alliteration!
I mean, I'm down.
Cool. Then in that case, Nariko will step up, and in her best, she didn't learn a lot about advertising, but this is definitely a good chance. So she'll put forward, yes, good sir, we are rather informal, but if you must have a name to call us by, I think the Mystic Mechanicus would be rather apropos.
He smiles and he grabs his drink and he raises it up in the air and he says, "Then to the Mystic Mechanicus!" And he drinks.
Does that make us MM? Hmm.
M&M's.
We'll have a we have a name now.
Nariko sort of leans down to Jade and kind of whispers, "If we need to rebrand sometime later, that's perfectly fine."
It's a good first name, I think.
Yes. Well, I think. Well, for a second, Nariko was thinking, was like, "No, you're not hired by the company anymore. That was just for the festival." I didn't want to say that you were all part of the Von Grutzner company. It's not technically true.
I mean, I think the one you came up with is great. It makes us all feel part of something, and not something that's our own thing that we did together.
True. Well then, shall we continue to discuss where M&M shall proceed in the future?
Probably. Are we gonna need to make like a banner or something now? We'll talk about that in the room.
No, I mean, I guess if we're ever going to like make investments or need to sign a contract, then it might be worth incorporating. Maybe it's just an LLC. No need to get too fancy with it.
Oh, there's so many letters. Yeah. No, I like this one. This is good. That's good. We'll just go from that for now. Do you think that man's a bard?
Joe, do I get Bard or do I get because he's got like a sailor messenger outfit, so like, does he work for any sort of correspondence, or is he just like the guy who delivers the letters?
He doesn't really have any branding on him, but if you would like to roll insight, you can kind of glean off of this guy. Not so much of a bard vibe, more traveling merchant.
Okay, a guy who travels around and spreads the news. So this is not going to be like a full news story that's like printed up by a journalist. This is literally going to be, oh man, when I head to the next bar and I need a thing to like get everyone to be like, yeah, around the drinks, I'm going to talk about all this shit I heard about.
That's pretty accurate.
Nice.
Okay. Nariko thinks to herself on whether or not she may need to get a publicist in order to make sure that tales spread about her do not get out of hand. Especially if they make it all the way to Tremonto before she does.
It has to be an actual bard for it to get all the way up there, I think.
You would be surprised.
Probably.
All right.
A lot of stuff is surprising.
with that, back to the room for council.
Yeah. Jade is just giddy at the idea of someone telling a story about her and her friends. It's been an exciting day in a strangely terrifying and still exciting time. Yeah,
I am pleased we are all alive.
me too. I was really worried there for a bit. There was a couple times that was... I don't really want to think about that, but there was a couple times that was definitely... Yeah. How are you feeling, Nariko? I mean, you got some magics helped mend you up, but how are you feeling? Are you still cold?
It's better now, thanks
Okay.
to the healing that the clerics provided. There were definitely a few moments where I was standing upright and I could see things around me, but I did hear voices that I don't recognize. There was a lot of heat of combat and all that, so.
Well,
I'm just thinking I wore my work dress for this one. It's down
yeah.
where more shreds have been torn, and she worries that this is going to be an ongoing expense for her.
Maybe we should get you up. I mean, I think I'm going to need two as well. This is my second dress, and I only have the other one. Maybe we're going to need to go get some clothes. I was really expecting to have
at this rate.
armor would probably be good. I mean, I've got some here, and she like pulls up a little bit of the top part of her dress to like flip it over, and you can see a shiny bit on the inside. My grandmama, she made this for me. So the dress has the armor on the inside.
Oh my gosh, yes, I do the same thing, and she like takes off that little like half jacket thing that she has, and she turns it over, and she like pulls one of the seams over to show like scales that have been sort of woven in between the fabric there, like Kevlar.
Oh, great! Yeah, that's good. I mean, a grandmama showed me how to do it myself if I need to make repairs. So, I mean, if at least until if we have to go get new ones, I can at least mend these for now.
Yes. Which brings me to what I was going to speak about. For tomorrow, I understand that our ultimate destination at the moment is to make it to Red Dwarf because we're sort of hot on the trail of the shapeshifter. Given what happened here at Dorahl, it seems like there may be something of a timed component to whatever plans they have. So I have at least a couple things I definitely want to do before leaving tomorrow, but do we want to take a full day here in Dorahl and then leave on the following day? Or once we've done our business, do you think we need to set off?
I guess that kind of comes down to what you want to do here, Nariko. And how long you want to spend. I mean,
all of what I personally feel I need to do here is I just need to find a couple of people and have a talk with them. That, I think, could be done in the course of the morning if we feel we do need to head out.
well, I know we talked the last time when we were leaving Crystal Cove that we already had so much time between us and she can teleport, or she at least has a magic something that lets her move from place to place. So even if we were right after her and she can do that again, she could just pop off anywhere she wants to go. All that being said, it seems like it has to all be connected because all the echoes are, well, the two that we've seen so far are working towards something. They're getting some sort. It seems like they want some sort of artifacts that they think maybe are around. But for all the flashy, showy bits and what seems to kind of be, I don't know. When we left Crystal Cove, it seemed like they had planned for so long because they were there for a few days at least. They had planned for a bit and then went right for it. You know, they didn't. It was kind of like, I guess it seemed rushed, right? But here, these ones here didn't do that. At least it doesn't seem like it. They've been here for 4 months, so they've been here for a lot longer. So maybe the different echoes are doing things in a different way. If maybe the one that we saw is going to wherever she's going because she's getting the little bits that are whatever little artifacts that she can get quick, and she's taking them somewhere that they're like trying to hold them all in. So maybe time isn't too rushed for us to have a day if we wanted it to be. But if we did go earlier, I mean, that just means we'd get there earlier and maybe get some more time for answers. But I don't know if we're necessarily gonna have to worry about missing anything. At least it doesn't seem like it yet, because it seems like they're mostly still looking for stuff. If that's really what they're doing. But they didn't get whatever it is they wanted here.
So, taken all together, it sounds like your vote leans towards taking a full day in Dorahl and then setting off.
I mean, I don't think it'll be a problem if we do, if that's what we want to do. So I am fine with taking the day, unless anyone else thinks that it's really important we get set off after any conversations I had in the morning.
A day of no fighting sounds amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it'd take us a bit to get there anyway, wouldn't it?
Indeed. But yes, with a day to spend in Dorahl, we can recuperate a bit after the rough fight. Dorahl does have a market, although with the recent economic upheaval, I don't know what the current state is, but if we need to purchase supplies or some extra protection or what have you. I'm still carrying. I have it divided out here. The 500 gold that is kind of set aside for group funding.
Investing in preparing ourselves for the future would be a wise use of our time.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. Especially if anything that we find at Red's Wharf is anything like we found here. That was...
We're expecting trouble at Red's Wharf.
That's true. And I mean, that was really scary, guys, when you guys got hit pretty bad.
It was, and I definitely want to be sure that when the next problem emerges, I can do a better job of getting intelligence to act upon and trying to see if I can whip up some better tools for us to handle it.
Yeah, your gun. I mean, do you need time to repair that? Do you take it somewhere?
I have all the parts to clean and repair it here. I can probably, if we've got all day to work with, I can do some work on that tonight and then finish it tomorrow.
Oh, that's good.
It's mostly some new enchantments I'm going to try to work into it to avoid this misfiring again.
What kind of enchantments?
Well, you see, you may, when your magic was sort of interacting with my magic, there was these sort of constellations that were forming across the barrel. At first, I thought they were decorative, but then when I researched the pattern as what they were going through, I saw they were actually sort of creating an interconnected lattice that was resulting in reinforcing. So she starts taking out a piece of paper and she starts scribbling on there.
Jade tries her best to follow along. It's super interesting, and she doesn't understand a word of it.
Yep.
Is this how you're making like a cage of magic?
Well, less so. You know how there's the old proverb about if you take a single arrow from a quiver, you can break it in half, but if you take 10 arrows and hold them together, you can bend, but they won't break quite so easily?
No, but you explained it, so yeah, I get it now.
Okay. It's kind of like that, but essentially having one point lend itself to support the others, you basically create a geometric shape where the maximum number of points are in contact with one another, so that if you press in any one direction, you're not just making the resistance of one, you've got 5 of them that are each contributing.
Oh, okay. No, that makes sense. Oh, it's kind of like us here right now.
Yes.
There's more than 5 of us. But...
Well, no, there's 6. 6 is
6
actually great. Hexagons are incredibly useful mathematically and structurally.
If you count Divide and Newman.
1, 2, 3, 4. Well, then that would be 8. That would be an octagon.
Well, yeah, but there's more. We could add more of us, is what I mean. You know, it's not just 6. Divide can't really do too much, but he's very comforting and smart. Is everyone else okay?
Yuki kind of looks at herself and she says, I think I'm okay. I agree. That was definitely not something I want to repeat. I wonder if they have herbs or anything that I might be able to make some tea to, I don't know, maybe give us more speed, or I don't know. I haven't seen anything like this before.
A tea like that? Or like the fight we just had?
The fight or the tea?
Yeah. Different things. I've read about things like that, but usually it's made by like an alchemist or something. Maybe we can find someone who can teach you.
I would definitely be interested in learning.
It wouldn't hurt for us to have something that we're able to use if we ever get hurt like that again. I know Ren was really helping out Reverie, but there's only the 2 of us, I think, that can help with that.
Nariko puts up a hand and says, I do have a few curatives that I keep on hand. They're a little volatile, though, and the method of administration through injection is not always the most pleasant.
Injection? Oh, what? A needle?
Yes.
Oh, no, yeah, I don't... I mean, any port in a storm, right?
Yes, it did all right helping to get the professor back on his feet during that first battle we were in.
Oh, I didn't see that. I was very distracted.
I just
But
find that
glad-
usually in the thick of it, most of my attention goes towards the firearms.
Yeah, as it should. That makes sense. Do we want to talk about the strange dogs? And the hole in the reality that happened? Or are we not talking about that? Because we don't have to talk about it if no one wants to talk about it.
Whole in reality? Where? Did I miss something? What? What?
Well,
I believe it happened. That was when the echo.
when she
First.
died.
Yeah. I'm actually very sad if you missed that, Professor, because you are kind of our expert here on what may or may not be connected to void magics.
What did it look like? What? Tell me exactly what you saw.
It opened up into a beautiful star field, and there were whispers. Did anyone else hear the whispering?
I heard the whispering, but I don't know what they were saying.
I couldn't understand it either. It was just like a low, like something was something or someone was, or a lot of someone's actually trying to say something, but I couldn't understand it, and it was just fields of purples and blues and starlight, and then giant tentacles tried to attack, and then they went away.
Stars, whispers, and tentacles. Joe, does this
He was-
resonate with any knowledge that I might have on this?
I would say no.
You were standing right there, Professor. You really didn't say it?
He shakes his head and he says, once the big one went down, I turned my attention to, and kind of gestures over to Ren, like the attackers that were focused on Ren.
Oh.
They were very rude.
You were kind of facing off with that big one for a bit. Were you trying to cast a spell? It didn't work?
He looks perplexed, like, no. It stopped attacking, so I stopped attacking.
But... okay. Why didn't you help against the other ones that were still attacking then?
At the time when the chatting started, nothing was attacking. I don't... He pauses for a second and he's like, these sorts of battles, I can understand that it's easy to get lost in the fervor, but I believe that everyone should have the chance to stop what they're doing, come to amenable agreements, and not everything needs to be solved with violence. In fact, I really don't think anything needs to be solved with violence, but given the chance to walk away from a fight without causing harm should be taken at all times.
Even if the people that you care about are getting hurt?
Even if they were getting hurt, if we could walk away without them getting hurt more and without causing other pain to other people, absolutely. If you just strike out at anyone without regard, just because they hurt someone that you care about, you're no better than they are.
It doesn't have to do with anything about being better, though.
Everyone deserves else. And if there's a chance that the fight could stop without continuing, then you can take it. And in the time in that battle, discussions arose.
Yeah, but...
the fighting started again. Of course, I joined back into the fray, but I gave them the chance, and I really think they deserved a chance, even if they didn't take the chance to walk away.
That's a nice sentiment.
Well, it's a little bit more than a sentiment. You see, if you have nothing to hold on to, and I really do believe that peace should be given every chance to succeed. It can't just be a sentiment. You have to make it happen.
But you just stood there.
I waited until they gave me a reason to fight again. I didn't stand there waiting for other people to fight. I jumped back in as soon as fighting began again.
Maybe I missed it.
Perhaps you too were focused on the discussion. And he looks to...
No, I was mostly focused on the fact that Nariko was dying. Behind the big one.
Hmm.
Anyway, I'll just... Anyway, but that's what I saw. Yuki, did you see the same thing? Did you see the stars and the colors?
I did. I did see the stars, I did see the colors, and I did see the tentacles.
It was like... They were... I don't know if they were trying to protect her, or if it was something she did as she died. I don't... It was only a second.
Mm-hmm.
A few seconds, and then it was gone.
It was very quick, but I fear it was something meant to harm us in the case of her demise.
I think it probably was. It didn't seem like it could last, though, so it disappeared pretty quick. Or maybe it was when she actually... she was dying, and then she was dead. So maybe when she finally was dead, it went away. I don't know. I didn't have my detect magics up. I was only able to concentrate on one thing.
And it is a blessing for all of us that you did concentrate on that one thing.
Yeah, I'm glad it was able to help. I was I didn't know if I could do that for that long. But between that and then the dogs, which are, I think, are real dogs that were here, because they didn't disappear. They're not like, like Mara or Jeffrey, who kind of... Reverie, you said Mara just kind of disappears, right? She'd go away?
Yeah.
These didn't
I
go
can
away.
summon and dismiss her at will.
So I don't think these were like Mara, or like Jeffrey, who they were bringing in and then would go back to wherever they came from. I think they were just here. And they felt like Jeffrey when I first walked in. So I'm not sure if they existed or if they were made, but they're definitely different.
Yuki is going to turn to Professor and say, Did Jeffrey react to those dogs? Does Jeffrey know anything about those dogs?
Does he?
I think the professor actually asked Jeffrey about that while he was in the encounter, and Jeffrey said had an answer.
Did he? I didn't
All right.
remember.
Never mind. Well, but we
think-
didn't know. We don't know that. Though.
Right. So to answer my
It's like
question,
in the heat of battle.
Jeffrey definitely knew what they were.
I think Jeffrey said guard or guardian.
Yeah. Joe might be muted, so I don't know if he's trying to tell us an answer.
What is it, boy?
I was only to say I didn't remember what I had Jeffrey do in that moment.
Jeffrey, where?
I
Jeffrey
remember
got,
Jeffrey like
freaked out.
mind linking guard and like Jenna said, guardian kind of deal.
Yeah, so Professor, what you got from Jeffrey in that moment was that these things are like the images and the thoughts that flicker through your head as you had asked Jeffrey about this are more of like guard dogs on duty.
Professor will kind of relay that, and he'll also add, like, to Jade's point, I don't believe that they're anything like Jeffrey in that they were summoned as familiars. They're here. I don't think they went back anywhere. Now, don't ask me how I know that, because I have absolutely no idea. He just didn't seem like the cuddly type of thing that you would summon to be a familiar. Does that make sense?
It does, but it's also very worrying as to how they appeared on this plane in the first place.
Joe, would I have any, like, just being a professor in a school of magic, would I have any, even if I can't do it myself, any, like, general knowledge of, like, conjuration spells and the types of things, like conjure animals or summon demons and that kind of stuff?
You would know they would exist for sure.
Okay.
You would know that
Good
that
enough.
kind of power exists.
Say, there are plenty of spells out there that summon celestials and demons and conjure fae, and one would have to surmise that something similar might exist if they're using the void itself to fuel their spells.
Oh, I don't know.
That is very worrying.
I mean, if they were summoned, if there's anything like, I mean, something from another plane of existence, they usually just return there. These ones didn't.
Well,
Which leaves
that
us
we
with
can
we're left with two possibilities. One is that those creatures are native to the void and were somehow brought through a portal or some such, which would be very bad. Or those were normal animals and were somehow mutated or infected with void magic to become those creatures.
Do you think that something like this void magic could even do something like that? I mean,
I don't discount the possibility.
I suppose, I mean, if you had enough, I mean, people do a lot of strange things with magic. I can't imagine that they couldn't try something.
I would think an overflow of void magic, rather than mutation, would just lead to outright destruction or disintegration, but anything is possible at this point.
I guess it's just another question to add to the list. I'm not actively keeping a list, that's just what people say. I could make a list if we want it, though. I have a journal, and I could write it in it. Do we want to write these questions down so we can answer them as we go?
If that's helpful to you, I don't think I'm in any danger of forgetting about the different void magics we've come across.
Yeah, I was kind of the same mind, but if we want to write it down, I'm going to write it down just to make sure.
Yes.
I'm going to write this. I'm going to write this one down. Magic dogs. Question mark. Asterisk, extras, or magic.
Reverie, I know meaning that echo was probably a little difficult for you. Is there anything you want to talk about with us, or any help you need?
I don't know.
That's fair.
As long as I don't open a portal to another dimension when I die, that'd be great.
Well, we're going to be trying very hard to keep you alive even without any potential portals opening. So, no changes to our plans there.
That's very true. I'm gonna do my best, and I know Ren is.
Yes.
She said sisters. She called them the other echo. She called them sisters. Which means there's more than one.
She said another sister. So maybe that's what she meant?
Maybe. So there's at least one other one out there. Not to mention whatever happened to the original temerity. If they didn't, well, if they didn't get rid of her so that they can take over her echoes. Well, they weren't able to take over you, Reverie. And we won't let him.
Right.
So it's not really comforting, is it?
Well, it's just that temerity was supposed to be a lot more versed in the arcane than I am right now. So if something did happen to her, what chance do I stand?
Well, I mean, not for nothing, but you're not alone. You can be really, really powerful, but if you're by yourself, it makes it really hard to plan against everything. And it sounded like, from what Nessa was saying, that Reverie really kept to herself and she went off alone a lot. She said she wasn't worried about her because, the wizards go off studying all the time, but no one knew where Temerity went, and you have us. And maybe we're not a match for someone like Temerity, but you're not going to have to face it by yourself. Or whatever happened to it by yourself, anyway. And 6 of us is, I mean, we didn't die yet, and we're pretty good, I think, and haven't, so, yeah, we're not, yeah.
And not for nothing, Reverie, but Nariko looks over and points at the big spell book and attached at her hip. You already certainly have all of the potential to reach Temerity's original level.
Yeah. And no, that reminds me. She didn't have a spell book.
Temerity did.
Temerity
No,
did, but
the Echo.
the Echo didn't. She didn't have that.
And the magics that she made use of didn't seem to be arcane.
That is odd.
I think that whatever happened with the Echoes, I think there's been some diversification.
Maybe.
I don't think that whatever went with the Echoes, I don't think they're copies perfect of Temerity. None of them are the same straight clones that they should have been by the virtue of the spell.
Right, and according to the spell, I mean, at least from what Nessa said, you would essentially be Temerity if you woke up. If something happened to her and she were to go to one of the bodies and wake up in it, she'd still be herself. She would be her.
Then the question is, what has corrupted the spell form? No offense.
Maybe they didn't corrupt the spell. Maybe they usurped the spell. They put something else in a body that was ready to be used. And maybe Reverie, maybe you got away. It doesn't really bode well for Temerity unless she's the one doing it all. Now that I think about it, I mean, I was pretty distracted in that first fight down in the vault. I don't remember. I think she had a little something in her hand. I don't think she cast a spell. She used something, didn't she? Like they used that, and she's pointing at the quartz. Like they used that here to make the cloud.
Indeed.
I don't
I
think
think-
she cast a spell down there either.
The Echoes might have access to whatever magics or items that this conspiracy can provide them with, but it's very possible that they are in the same boat as Reverie in that when they came back, regardless of whose control they fell under or what aberrations appeared, most likely they came back without the full suite of power that the original Temerity commanded. Which is good news for us.
Very good news for us.
But again, we start delving into the fact that there's still too many unknowns. We're still going to have to play it by ear. And recognize that whenever we're dealing with these zealots, that there are echoes that could be shape-shifted among them. And we definitely, the next time we find one, should try and capture them. Because the more answers we have, the more we can help keep Reverie safe.
That's true. I guess maybe we need to start thinking of a better plan than just walking in. I've never been to Red Dwarf, so I'm not really sure what we're going to find when we get there.
I think this could be difficult. I think perhaps our best avenue is to try and make contact with the Thieves Guild. They've been acting erratically, more brazen, which could mean that they're being pressured in some way by these cultists to act in their interests.
Or they're being blamed for it.
Both are true. In either case, the thieves would have a vested interest in partnering with us to throw off that yoke. They would be our allies.
Jade raises her hand a bit. Do we get in touch with the Thieves Guild? Do we leave, like, money out for them?
So,
What,
so
put it on a windowsill or something?
could be workshopped. Obviously, being part of a business in good standing, I don't exactly have contacts and friends among those circles, but I would say having the heiress to an incredibly wealthy corporation showing up publicly might attract the wrong, right sort of attention.
So you want to set a trap?
Yeah.
Is it a trap if it's just a conversation?
Well, it's a trap in that we're trying to lure them out to us to then have the conversation when they would be lured in by the promise of robbing someone. So yes, still, it's a friendly trap. But if anyone has an idea that does not involve me, like, flaunting my wealth in order to be an attractive target to burglars, I am all ears for it. Please have a better idea than
Use
that.
Kenneth.
Jenna, you broke up.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back now.
What if we use Kenneth?
That it's in the same vein. I don't know that Kenneth will be. I don't know if Kenneth's walking all the way with us.
Oh. Wait, we're walking?
Well, it's overland from here to Red Dwarf.
Oh. I've never been
The-
there, so I'm not really sure where it's at.
Yeah, the ships that we use for travel across the lake are not quite so hardy for trips over the ocean proper.
Oh. Okay. Oh, so we gotta go down to the bit and then walk across. I see. Well, then maybe that's just something we workshop as we're around. Oh, maybe we go to an inn, or like this one, and we sit and we just talk loudly about. No, I guess we wouldn't really want to talk about wanting to meet a thieves guild, would we?
Yeah, we would just talk about
Probably
having a good deal of money and where we would be keeping it, and where
I
we could
like
be
it.
easily found over the next 24 hours.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I don't have any other ideas. I will think of other ideas if I have another idea, I will let you know.
Yeah.
I don't have any right now.
Joe, logistically, is that actually like the fastest way to get to Red Dwarf is to sail to Rochdale and then walk over?
It would cut some walking time out.
Okay, then that would be the actual plan that Nariko has. Like, I was under the assumption that, like, from Dorahl or for Rochdale, like, overland would be roughly equivalent. But if that's not the case, then
It's a similar walking distance, but as opposed to walking, you could sail there in you could sail to Rockdale in much less time than you would be able to walk there. And then the walking distance, once you get to that point to Red's Wharf, would be kind of equidistant.
alrighty, then Nariko will put that forward as the actual plan.
So it would take probably about 3 hours to sail from Dorahl to Rockdale. To walk that same amount of distance, it's probably almost a full day.
Gotcha.
And then,
Alrighty.
From there, it's about a day's walk to Red's Wharf.
Sounds good. All right. Then the only other change would be Nariko will say, we will be stopping in Rochdale. Presuming no further adventures befall us there, we can take a moment to see if anyone there knows anything that would be useful for us as far as making that contact when we reach Redfall.
That's probably a good plan. I mean, I've read stories about people in thieves guilds, and obviously the stories, but there was a group that's called the Shoe Shiners that are supposed to be down at Weyburn Port, and I think I usually use code words and things, and I don't know that we know the code words for the reds for the hand people that are the red hand garnet something. I don't know. Never
It
mind.
sounds like you already know more than I do about who these people are.
I mean, no, it was. That's what the Fedwin said, that they're called the something hands of garnets, the red hand, something like that.
So what Fedwin told you is that the Thieves Guild operating in Red's Wharf is called the Garnet Hand.
Mhm.
The Shoe Shiners are in
Weyburn Port,
no,
Moonhaven.
Moonhaven.
Moonhaven. I heard about them in Weyburn Port.
Gotcha.
Sorry, my bad. Mixed up my places. Because Weyburn Port was where I met Reverie. They're supposed to use code words and stuff. Maybe we can try to listen and see if we can hear any code words.
We can certainly try, but if they're halfway decent at using code words for their intended purpose, we shouldn't be able to pick them out.
Oh, I guess it's true. Maybe we'll just listen to see if anyone talks about the garnet hand, then?
Yes,
And just make a point to say, oh, we have so much money.
yes. I expect we'll just need to do our job of doing as much information gathering as possible when we make
Yeah.
it there.
Probably.
Alright, well, hate to leave it up to improvisation, but that's the best we'll have for now. Alright, well, I think that about covers all the major points. We'll take a day tomorrow in Dorahl. I have a few errands to run. Maybe worth checking out the market or anywhere else in town. And then the day after, we will board the ship, head down to Rochdale. It'll be a quick morning journey, and then we'll stop there for however long we need to, and then continue on by foot and carts until we reach Red's Wharf.
Yeah, I guess that's the best plan we've got right now.
I am rather exhausted from today, so I'm going to slide into the other room, fix up my gun a bit, and then get some rest. But by any means, if you need to talk to me about anything, you can find me.
Yeah, okay. I suppose it's probably a good idea that we all try to get some sleep. Rest, anyway. Professor, you've been writing in your journal for like 4 minutes. Is your hand tired?
Professor's BRB.
Yeah, he BRB'd. I don't know if he's back yet.
Sorry, I misread that as back. I don't know why I did that. My brain's not working, guys. Well, I'm gonna stay up here, and I'll just keep an eye.
What are you keeping an eye on?
I don't know. Just everything, I suppose. The door, in case something comes through the door.
Okay.
What time is it about now, Joe? Sep?
It's God. Don't.
It's so weird every
I
time.
know, I hate it. I
Uh,
hate it.
it took a while for Father Vincent to write out that scroll.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're well past sunset at this point. It's getting dark.
All right, but not like midnight.
No, not that late.
All right. Yuki looks at everybody and says, I'm still a little um wired, I guess, from the events of today. I'm going to go back out into the tavern and just sit by the fire and have a nice cup of tea and see if I hear anything interesting. If anyone would like to join me, I would love the company.
You're not gonna get just tea, right?
Yuki smiles. Just tea, and only my tea.
Okay, that's good. I'm gonna
I
sit
will.
here and I'll watch you from here, and I'll keep the door open a bit, and that way I'll see if something happens.
Yuki will make sure that she sits where Jade can see her.
Professor's back, Jade, if you wish to.
Yeah. Professor, you've been writing for like 4 minutes. Is your hand not tired?
He doesn't initially answer. Then he's like he's startled out of his focus. Like, oh, what? Huh? My hand. And he looks down at his scribbled pages and he like claps the book shut and slides it into his coat and taps his pen, tucks it in there. Like looks down at his hands. Like, no, I've typically engage in long sessions of writing on the regular. I think I'm used to it by now.
Oh, okay. Are you writing about the day?
No, not yet. That'll be later. Just he thinks to himself like questions, really. Questions I need to find answers to. And he kind of looks out the door to Yuki, and then back to Jade. He's like, "I'll be back."
Okay. Just tea.
Just tea. He smiles warmly at her and steps out. He'll actually go to the bar and wave over to Garrick. He's like, "Do you have any fresh fruit?"
Garrick's looks up to you and says, "Well, yeah, we have some berries that we picked out of the back garden. Is that what you're
Today.
looking for?"
Fresher the better.
Yeah. How much fruit are you looking for? I can get you a bowl. It'd be 3 copper pieces for a bowl.
I really only need 2, but I can take a bowl. I kind of package it. No, that's fine. Give me the bowl. 2 copper pieces, you say?
3.
3. Right. Sure. He'll hand over like a silver.
Oh. Do you want a second?
No, consider that a tip, my good man.
Oh, very generous, sir. Thank you. And he'll give you a bowl of strawberries.
He will take one out of the bowl, and he walks over to Jeffrey, who is just sort of standing there where he left him, and he hands it to Jeffrey, and he says, "Jeffrey, I want you to hold this." And he hands the berry over. Don't eat it, don't squish it, don't do anything. Just hold it. You don't have to do anything else. Just hold it in your hand. it's probably going to be a long time. I just hold it.
Jeffrey holds their hands out, takes the bowl, and just kind of looks up at you, just kind of blinks blankly.
Don't give me that look. I have a reason. All right. The discussion just a few moments ago really got me thinking about the effects of prolonged exposure to the void and void creatures on biological living things here on the material plane. And so I want you to hold that, and I'm just curious to see if the berry will react to the proximity to you over time differently than the berries that just sit on the counter.
Jeffrey looks down at the berries and then back up at you and just kind of blinks in acknowledgement back at you.
He nods and just kind of points his finger accusingly. Don't eat it. And he'll go take a seat next to Yuki.
Yuki will smile and say, "Good evening, Professor. What is Jeffrey doing?"
He's holding a strawberry.
Right. Why?
So I can see if it has any sort of adverse reaction to being in close proximity to it being made entirely from void, or at least from the void. I'm not sure what Jeffrey's made of. Don't really want to find out. That's a lie. I do want to find out, but I don't really want to poke holes into it because that can't be comfortable.
Agree, holes might not be your best way to find your answer. She's gonna have her little tea on a little table in front of her. She's got her little tea set up, and she's working on making a cup of chamomile and lavender tea. And she'll think for a minute and say, does this have to do with the dogs?"
Sort of. Well, indirectly. The discussion just sort of... Nariko brought up a point about corruption. And was it Nariko or was it Jane? There was a point brought up about corruption that really got me thinking. It's something that I really hadn't considered. But we know absolutely nothing about the void. We know nothing about the things that come from the void. We have no idea of any effects, or good or potentially bad, that may come from being exposed to people or things, creatures from the void, or just the void itself. And if a portal to the void opened up, and I don't know if it's a portal to the void, but it sounds an awful lot like a portal to a void that happened while we were in the mines. We don't know what kind of side effects being exposed to that at all may have on any of us. So I can't imagine that Jeffrey holding a strawberry is going to yield really incredible, amazing results. But if I could just get a little bit of information, if it reacts differently at all, in any capacity, than something that's just sitting on the bar over there, then we know that, yes, corruption is possible through exposure, and yes, we need to take better care, especially if we're going to be chasing around echoes of someone who apparently opens up portals to a starry, whispery, void-like thing every time that they kick it. You get?
Yuki is gonna kind of lean forward and look past the professor at Jeffrey. What is Jeffrey doing?
You better not be eating that fucking strawberry.
Jeffrey's gonna toddle over into this chair and kind of take a seat and just kind of watch the both of you.
Okay.
He's not eating strawberries. He's just kind of sitting there, staring at you with these black beady eyes, his tentacly face, and
So creepy.
holding a bowl of strawberries in his tiny tentacle hands.
Adorable face.
It's like legs are too short for the chair, and they're just sort of kicking forth.
I
100%.
can't.
So
The button kills me every time. I can't.
So fun thing about Jeffrey is he has a fly speed, like a good fly speed. So I picture him like Peter Panning everywhere. Like he just floats. He has no wings. He sort of floats all over the place. He has these spindly legs that he doesn't use.
I imagine almost kind of looking like a very tiny miniature elephant with these little itty bitty fairy wings. Just kind of like taking him around.
He's got these tiny little atrophied legs hanging down. Look,
Yeah.
these little legs.
Professor
Anyway.
will follow Yuki's gaze over to Jeffrey, and he'll take particular note. He does look really closely at the strawberries. Like, have they reacted yet?
They look like regular strawberries to me.
No change in
Well.
the strawberries yet, Professor.
It's only been a few seconds.
Would you care for a cup of tea, Professor?
Oh yeah, love a cup of tea. What are we brewing tonight?
I believe after the events of recent, a little calming would be in order. So we are just doing some chamomile lavender tea this evening.
Ah, yes. It should perfect. Really help lower the blood sugar and help with the inflammation. Not that I have any inflammation, but if I did, a chamomile would be perfect for it.
Yes, and the lavender will help lower any stress hormones or levels you might be having, so that sleep may come easier.
He nods. Look, did you notice in Crystal Cove that the Lord Captain Commander Emeritus smelled distinctly of lavender when he walked by? Do you think he does that on purpose?
He must do it on purpose, but is it like a perfume, or do you think he just smells of lavender because he's that advanced in his rank?
He raises a brow. He's like, are you proposing that the higher rank you get within the Sentinels of St. Balinor, the more floral you're going to smell?
Yuki kind of hides a little smirk because she is poking fun, but she does also want to kind of be a little mischievous, and she's going to say, I guess that would only be learned if we come across a bunch of sentinels and evaluate how floral each of them are in correlation to their rank. And she hands you a cup of tea innocently.
He just stares at Yuki and he's like, I know you're taking the piss, but I will have you know that none of the other sentinels smelled anything like lavender. I think his mate might actually just wash his clothes with lavender.
Yuki is gonna laugh. She says, oh, I thought I got you that time, Professor. Well, then maybe he does just have his maid wash his clothes in lavender. I prefer to think that he just emanates lavender. It's more amusing that way.
He settles back in his chair and takes a long draw on this tea and lets out like that sort of sigh after you take a long, comforting hot drink. And he's like, you know, he could be Fey-touched. If he had any time in the Feywild, he could just smell like lavender. I've heard of that happening.
Yuki is just going to, again, hide a little smirk. Say, anything is possible in the Feywild.
I wonder if he's ever gone to the Feywild. I'd love to visit the Feywild. Incredible stories.
I have never been to the Feywild, and I think I may not want to go. It sounds peculiarly terrifying.
Terrifying? What could be terrifying about the Feywild? Imagine fairies and nymphs and Eladrin elves who have not come to the material plane and become all angry yet. It sounds like a place I'd like to at least visit, do a bit of studying.
The bargains that have to be so carefully worded as to not cause you harm. Danger lurking around every corner. Unspoken rules that change at a whim, that if you do not follow, then, again, more harm. No, Professor, I will leave the Feywild to you.
he can't help but smirk a bit. He's like, bargains? Do you make a habit of making bargains with everyone you meet here?
No, I do not, but I am able to express my gratitude to those here, and if I did so in the Feywild, from what I have been told from visitors that come to the monastery, that can lead you down a very dangerous path.
Well, there's a simple cure for that. All you have to do is become an asshole.
Yuki laughs. She says, I think doing that might be more challenging for me than not saying thank you.
He chuckles into his cup, and he says, I don't know, I think I might know a dwarf who might beg to differ.
Yuki is going to kind of shoot her eyes at the professor, and she's going to say, had they waited just a moment, I had a plan. I got the balance wrong. The time of balance. I had a plan. I was going to illustrate how together we could take their minds back, and timing just. She just looks, her brow furrows, and she just looks troubled as to trying to figure out her misstep, as she still believes that it was just timing and her balance was off.
There's this thing that academics do to sort of find the right way of doing things. And you find the right way of doing things by doing everything wrong. It's called the scientific method. And you prove something right by proving what's wrong. I think you executed that perfectly according to the scientific method, and you know exactly what not to do the next time you want to convince someone that you're going to save their minds in their town.
Yuki again smiles into her teeth. She says, I know you're just trying to make me feel better, but I appreciate it.
He smiles and he just says, I appreciate your appreciation. I've not met a lot of tabaxis that really just won, and you're markedly different than him. You're much nicer. He kind of blushes a bit, like, admittedly wondered if it was a trait of your people to be grumpy all the time, but I'm happy to be proven wrong in that.
You said you've only met one other tabaxi.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird situation, really. I believe it's trying to steal my bag. It's not very good at it.
Well, he couldn't have come from my monastery unless you did something to deserve your bag stolen.
I don't think so. That's usually the type of thing I pay attention to, but it's entirely possible. He caught him trying to steal it, told him to sod off, and he said he didn't like me and continued on his way.
Yuki freezes, and she looks at the professor full on, and she says, what did you say he said?
He kind of looks around and like, did it like me? Well, kind of like this, and he's, I don't like you. And then he kind of does like a ta-da sort of thing with his hand, like, I did a really great impression type of thing.
Yuki's eyes go wide, and her tail just fluffs up in delight. She says, was his name Ketch?
Catch what? I guess I caught him trying to steal my shit, yeah?
Describe him for me, would you?
He kind of holds his hand up, like, this tall, kind of looks like a sand cat, except bigger and tabaxia and big eyes. He kind of uses his fingers to pry his eyes up wide open, and he gives like this big scowl on his face, and he's like, "I don't like you."
Yuki is grinning. She says, "Oh my word! That's Couch! Oh, my brother, I'd wondered where he had gotten off to."
Your brother the thief! Clearly you were raised by different parents.
Yes. And by brother, I don't mean, biological. He was at the monastery, and oh my word, he was a delight. He was an absolute delight.
Oh, someone should tell that to his face.
Oh, I have, for sure. Oh, he was the best. Oh, he despised everything. It was just delightful.
He just stares at you for a moment, and you'll just say, "I'll have to take your word for it."
Oh. Oh, I miss him so. He would pick fights with everyone in the monastery. Oh my goodness, the concept of balance for him was as inconceivable as, well, my idea of drinking a dwarf's beer, I guess. He was just so curmudgeonly, and he would walk around the monastery in his way that he did, that you described so perfectly, and he would say, "I don't like you," and I remember a time specifically, he didn't think anyone was watching, and I was watching because I wanted to see what he did, as he amused me so, and he tripped over a rock and got up and looked at it and said, "I don't like you." And it was positively the funniest thing that I've ever seen. But
It's normal for...
God.
Is it normal for your people to have a catchphrase like that?
No, not typically, no, but Catch never really kind of fit in. I would find him often by himself, having alienated himself from everyone, being as he was, and it took a while, but eventually, he would accept my offers of tea, and he and I would sit in quiet solitude, watching the wind blow through all of the wheat, and watching the clouds go by in quiet, meditative stillness. And he would always finish his tea first and put the cup gently down by my feet. Stand up, take a few steps, and ever so quietly say, "I don't like you," and walk away. And then one day he was gone. He was no longer at the monastery. The head monk told me he had left in the night, and I never saw him again. Until you told me just now that he's still out there causing his mischief. There is balance after all.
Oh, well, it is refreshing to hear about your past. As far as Catch goes, I ran into him in the Rose Coast, so perhaps he's still there if we ever get the chance to head that way.
I think we might have to at some point.
Well, I certainly wouldn't turn down the opportunity to head back to Iceland. They've someone I'd quite like to visit.
And who is it you are missing and would like to visit?
No one so grumpy. He stops himself. No one quite so
Yeah, I can't say that, can you?
grumpy as Catch. I think, if memory serves. And it does serve. I do remember a lot. I don't think they're a friend. Friends. This friends.
Yuki slants her eyes over. She says, What do you miss about this friend?
What do you miss about any friends? Camaraderie, the talks and openness and general enjoyment of each other's company and the beer. The beer's so much better over there.
Well, sounds like you're going to enjoy some beer when we get over there.
Yeah, well, I mean, as you do, you go for the beer. Is that not why people go to the Rose Coast? The beer.
I guess so. Yuki will lean forward and kind of look at Jeffrey again to see if the see if he has modified the strawberries at all.
Give me a nature check.
I was muted from me?
Yes.
Okay.
They still look like pretty good, ripe strawberries. Nice and red, a little bit of shine to them.
Professor just settles deeper into his chair in awkward silence and pulls the cup up to his mouth, not really drinking, just sort of hiding his face mostly, and stares at the fire.
Amazing.
Anything else for you two?
I think I'm good.
I don't think so.
Anybody else looking to do anything tonight? Any conversations, preparations, any of that kind of good stuff? If the answer is no, so the night will continue on. The miners eventually fall asleep at their table. Everyone else seems to have cleared out. Garrick and his wife cleaning the bar and the tavern down. They'll eventually kind of turn in as the night wanes on. Professor and Yuki, are you guys going to eventually go back to the room for the evening?
Yeah, I'm not going to sleep out here.
Okay.
She's going to go curl up in a corner in the room.
Okay. What's Newman up to?
Newman is an NPC, so I threw him over on top of the piano because that seemed like a funny place to put him. I don't know what he's doing.
Okay, that's fair.
He's
He
not
plays
my
the thing
familiar,
that hasn't
he's
heard of
not
yet.
like my steel defender or whatever. I have no control over him.
Newman is his own Modron. Alright, so then the night passes by peacefully, uneventfully. You guys are all able to get a long rest. Reset your abilities, hit points. The temp hit points go away. Professor, are you doing anything with Jeffrey this evening?
Nope. He's gonna leave Jeffrey out, and he's gonna make sure he's still holding the strawberries.
You're just gonna leave him like out by the fire?
You could come with me to the bedroom if you want, Jeffrey, but don't let go of the strawberry.
Kind of nods and toddles along behind you. Leaving him out overnight, you wake up and find that the strawberries are, a little wilted from being out overnight, but nothing unnaturally so. Are you leaving him out all night? Are you doing anything with him in the morning?
No, leaving him out. I know where you're going with this.
All right.
We don't.
Guess we'll have to see what happens when it happens.
So the night passes by. You get your long rest. 10 hit points go away. Abilities come back. The morning comes, and the miners are still in the tavern. Appears they slept there overnight, but they are awake at whatever point you guys decide to walk back in. They are starting to make their plans for reopening the mines.
Good for them. Do they require any assistance with that? Are they soliciting us for anything?
They're not soliciting anything. They seem to have like a map of the mine out. They appear to be kind of making their plans for where they're going to begin their mining operation again, how they're going to get the carts back up and running, and part of it is also reaching out to those members of the Miners Guild who have tried to go off to other places to find other work.
Nariko will pop by and she will offer, if they want. On the one hand, they're looking to get messages out to the miners that they're missing. Nariko can offer some usage of the von Grutzner's delivery system to help with that. And in the same vein, kind of a sort of a temporary workforce to help them get things running until all those miners return. They can also write up a contract for Modrons to come in to help do some of the basic labor. She can offer them some contracts drawn up, which gives a nice friendly discount as kind of an investment to get Dorahl back up and running, so that the wider business can be more healthy for both to prosper.
Okay.
Would they be amenable to making some deals along those lines?
They will take any help that they can get.
Great. Nariko will send word to Kenneth to draw up the contract, because he's better at that than she is.
Very good.
Won't be for free, but it will be under pretty generous terms.
Sure.
Than they would get otherwise. So, all right, then. Good for them. If they happen to find that weird thing, keep it secret, keep it safe. Send word immediately directly to us.
Will do.
I would say it's probably for the best if they don't wind up finding it, and it was never here.
Never here.
That would be the preferable option, but if they happen to come across it.
Gotcha.
After that, breakfast, and then Nariko's first stop for the day. She's going to head across the way to the orphanage again.
All right. Anybody else? Are you waiting for anybody else, or are you just kind of going off on your own?
Nariko's not in a cute since we have the whole day. She's not in a hurry to scarf down and get going. She's not trying to avoid other people joining in if they want. So she'll be at a normal pace having breakfast, and then if anyone wants to tag along, they can do so.
All right. What's everybody else's plans for the morning?
For Jade, she stayed in her seat for the night, like she said she was going to, watching the doorway, for the most part, and just chit-chatting with David. Once everybody else is in and settled for the night and tucked away in their rooms to sleep, she would have taken off her glove, the glove of her right arm, where she had taken the attack from in the mine, that she had held her arm up to defend herself when the blade came down at her, just to inspect the site, and then spend like an hour or two mending her glove back up with the few little bits that she's got left still from Grandmama. And she's gonna need to make a stop so she can get more thread and such. But she'll be awake and at still in that same position when Nariko gets up to head out. So she'll just peek out after her. Nariko.
Oh.
Did you sleep all right?
Yes, I did. So much happened that I was rather tuckered out by the time I finished my adjustments and laid my head down.
It was a long day.
It was.
You said you were going to have conversations today?
Oh, yes. I wanted to stop at the orphanage again and have a proper talk. And then I was going to head over to the temple.
Oh, okay. Did you want company, or did you want to go by yourself?
She seems genuinely unsure if she does or does not want company for this. And she kind of just puts down her cup and says, I honestly don't really know, but Jay, do you have some connection with like spirits and death and things of that nature, right?
Oh, sort of, I guess.
Okay. Then yeah, sure. You can join along. I don't.
Are you going to be doing something that involves spirits and death?
Well, yes, I suppose so.
Okay. Well, I'm happy to be with you, because it doesn't sound very pleasant.
I don't know if I can describe it, but it'll be fine.
Well, a lot of my power comes from between places. Things that are there but not there. Doorways and shadows and all the spaces between all the things that you can see. Death falls into that sometimes when you're stuck. But if you are concerned about death and spirits, Ren might be a really good companion.
True. I'll ask him if he wants to accompany us today.
Yeah, of course. Do you want me to go get him?
I'm sure he'll be out soon.
Probably. It is still fairly early. I just saw you leaving, and I know. Well, I mean, you can take care of yourself, but I didn't want you to be alone out here in the outer bits of the bar bits. That doesn't make sense. Eric is here. I just didn't want you to have to be alone in the morning.
I appreciate that, too. Speaking of, good morning, Ren. You
Oh.
seemed a bit exhausted after last night. Are you feeling better?
Oh,
Good
Ren,
morning. Hello.
did you sleep okay?
The palette helps remarkably with my sleep quality.
Oh, good. I'm glad it's still solid.
Mm,
Ren, I had an idea of something that may be an opportunity for you to gain a few more insights into your nature. You mentioned that you have a connection with the god Thanatos. I was going to be taking a trip up to the temple to deal with some matters that are sort of related to his domain. Would you like to accompany me for that?
Ren tilts his head inquisitively. I suppose. I would have thought if we had matters to deal with that, they would have come up yesterday. I was quite grateful they did not.
Very grateful they didn't as well. But yes, maybe being there would awaken a memory or two for you?
Perhaps, he says, still studying her.
Okay. Good. Well, I figured it would be worth offering. I need to stop by the orphanage just to chat with the proprietor for a little bit first, but then we'll head over.
The orphanage is where you stayed for a bit, right?
Yeah, it wasn't for terribly long. Just couldn't have been more than a couple weeks, really. I just wanted to give my thanks and ask a couple of questions. That's all.
Of course.
Especially since Sprinkles proved so helpful to us.
Can't believe that there's a little dragon just. I can't believe the lady has a dragon. That was different. She seems really nice, though.
He is. Well, Nariko kind of finishes her drink. She says, "Whenever you two are ready, we can head out."
Oh, I'm good whenever we want to go. Ren,
I will seek out food later. Let us go.
we'll have a big brunch.
Do-do-do-do-do.
Yuki, Professor, anything from you guys?
You totally have time to like spot Nariko and like flag her down before she goes if you want to.
No, that's okay. Yuki is gonna. She's found a sunbeam, so she's gonna sleep in a little bit too. And then eventually she's gonna get up and kind of make her way out to the bar and get some breakfast and kind of skulk around a little bit.
Skulk.
Professor's probably just gonna enjoy breakfast and coffee. Kind of wave at Nariko as she goes about her doings as she does.
All right. Back to the town. So,
Oh man,
Professor and Yuki hanging back. So you step out of the inn. The sun is shining brightly now. It seems to be quite a cheery day. Skies are clear. A couple of clouds floating about high in the sky. Nothing to be worried about, but kind of pleasant, mildly warm.
oh that's definitely better.
Jade just situates her hat a little more on her head as she looks outside, and then steps out after everybody else.
Walk across the street. All right, so that's the sanctuary.
Uh, it being daytime, the door opens, and you find Sareth sitting at her usual station. She
Hello
kind
there
of
again, Miss Sarah.
she stands and she greets you with a smile, and she says, "Oh, Miss Nariko, it's uh, good to see you. How are you this morning?"
A little sore, but glad that the town's been set to rights. Thank you again for allowing Sprinkles to come and assist us. His help was invaluable.
She kind of smiles and she says, "Well, when Sprinkle makes a decision, not much I can do about it, of course."
True. Um, would it be all right if I sat and just talked a little bit? I wanted to catch up a bit after not having been here for nearly a decade.
Sure, please, yes. You're welcome anytime. Come on in.
Erica will enter. Head to whatever little spot Seraph wants to sit down in.
She'll kind of take you to a small sitting room. Uh, she'll sit down with you. There's a cup of tea, ready for all of you that decide to join. You hear the running of some children down the hallways. There's some laughing, but it's mostly I don't want to say quiet, but it's peaceful.
Uh, I I wanted to stop by Dorahl in general because I'm currently on a trip that'll take me rather far from Uzura, potentially for a long time. So I thought it was a good moment to stop and put things in order. I guess I'm on my way to be married.
Married.
Apparently, yeah. There's a very prominent merchant family in Tremonto that mother's arranging for a union with.
Oh, what a happy occasion. Who's the lucky person?
Uh, fellow by the name of Marcus Goldwater. Uh, don't know terribly much about him just yet. Uh, According to Mother's most recent letter, apparently he's excited to meet me.
You don't know much about him and you're going to marry him?
That's the plan.
It's a little strange, don't you think?
Uh, not not really amongst the noble circles. Generally, family connections and pooling of interests tends to take priority with most decisions.
I suppose it's something I don't really have intimate knowledge of. How do you feel about the whole thing?
I am nervous, and it's hard to tell what part of that is nervous about trying to do my duty well and present myself and the family well and make sure that this deal that Mother's put a lot of stock in will go through. Also nervous to be meeting a new gentleman. I don't precisely have a lot of experience with courting, so
As you are always more one for your books and your gadgets and your tools, I suppose.
right. It There's a lot to it. I need more. I need more information. I would feel more comfortable if it's a sort of problem I can work on. Right now, it's a little out of my sight, but regardless, big occasion. So I wanted to stop here. I don't think I ever properly thanked you for taking me in after my parents um, passed away. I, uh, I, from what I remember, I was very young, but I seem to recall I was not particularly well behaved. What with all the the upheaval that happened. I apologize for that.
Seraph kind of laughs, and she says, Nariko, there's no apology necessary. You were thrown into a very difficult situation, and things have never quite been easy for you, and I'm just happy that you got the opportunities that you were afforded when Miss Katarina took you in.
Yes. That was actually something I wanted to ask you about. I was obviously I was small, caught up in a lot of things going on. What was Mother like when she became here? It's just I never really got the story from her of why at that moment she felt the need to adopt and why she decided that this sanctuary was where she was going to go find her new child.
See, Seraph puts her teacup down and she ponders for a moment. Ren, what are you perception checking?
Red was trying to see if he was observing Jade being uncomfortable, but I feel like that's a little low for him in his brain.
Jade, are you trying to hide your discomfort at all?
I don't think she realizes she's. I don't think she's hiding it because she doesn't realize she's projecting it. So.
I think on a 12, Jade's a nervous enough person, anxious enough person. I think Red would be able to clock that on a 12.
Cool. Now Red's with two women that are nervous. Now he's really confused.
You're always
Awesome.
with women who are nervous.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's his fault most
Jade's
of the
never
time.
not nervous.
Good point.
Clearly, the perfect cover if you're a spy is to just always be suspicious. Then no one can tell when you're actually doing the shady shit.
Okay, don't start. We will make a character like that.
Oh,
I already
who says
did make a
that
character
he
like
already
that. His name's fucking Sholar.
is.
Oh, Sholar. Okay, we're focused.
So Sarah, she ponders for a moment as she thinks back, and she looks back to Nariko, and she says, "When your mother showed up here, we were all taken aback. This doesn't seem to be the kind of place that a person of Katarina's status would typically go looking, but regardless, here she was. She said that she was very interested in finding someone that she could take care of, someone that she felt she could bond with, and obviously someone that she felt would be engaged in potentially trying to pass on her business to. And we showed her a couple of profiles of some of the children who were here at the time, but she seemed to know that she was looking for you. She went through some of the other profiles very quickly, which is not typical of some of those who are looking to adopt come here to do, and she found yours and immediately pointed you out and asked to see you, and well, the rest was kind of history.
Oh. I apologize for asking that sort of question. I've been thinking a bit about Mother, and he's been a wonderful, loving part of my life. She thinks the world of me, and I was just wondering what drew her to choose me as the daughter she wanted in the first place. I didn't remember if she had been around and like watching us engaging, but that's So she was looking through some profiles and she singled me out pretty quickly from that. Okay.
It seemed to me, yeah. I don't want to make assumptions, but it almost seemed like she was looking specifically for you.
Well, it wouldn't be out of character for Mother to have done some preliminary research before arriving here. I'm just not. I just don't know what the little 7-year-old me, what talent I could have possibly displayed to have earned her interest.
She smiles and she says, "Well, you know, your mother is a very, uh, she's very insightful. She can read people pretty well. I think she just had that famous gut instinct of hers about you."
Well, it's brought me nothing but happiness, so I suppose I do trust that gut instinct of hers, uh, which is why I'm trying to do my best to put faith in this arrangement that she's made for me. I'm sure there are things about this match that I just haven't had the chance to see yet.
You know, off the record, Nariko, you always have a choice. If it's not something you feel comfortable with, you know, you don't have to do anything you don't want to.
I know, of course, I know that. But I also should give this full consideration. I should give it my full attention and try to make it work.
You're a smart girl, Nariko. Young woman, sorry. You're a smart young woman, Nariko. I understand your curiosity in wanting to see this out, and wanting to have all the facts laid out in front of you. Just know that when you get there, if your decision changes or solidifies in one way or the other, you always have the free will to act that out. And that's, I think, another thing that this life has afforded you.
Sure. Has well, you may not be allowed. Oh wait, did I ask this already? If whether or not von Grutzner like patronizes this place? I feel like I asked that last time I was here.
I think you might have, but I know that Seraph did give an answer that any funding, any donations that come into the
Are all anonymous.
Yes.
Right, gotcha. Okay, so I won't ask that question. Well, thank you. That whole day was a bit of a whirlwind, so wanted to get your perspective on how that happened.
She nods and she says, "Of course, I'm happy to provide whatever I can."
I'm sure whatever the future holds for me, if I ever had the need, this would be my first place to go if I ever needed a child of my own.
It is a sad reality that there is no shortage of orphans in this world. There will always be someone waiting for a home. Thankfully, we are well taken care of, so no worries there. But it's always nice to have a home, a parent, to be there for you.
You have my utmost admiration for working so hard to be that person for so many.
I love what I do. And as rambunctious as the children can be, she kind of like gives a bit of a wink to you. They're always worth it.
I'm glad. Okay, I think that's pretty much all I really wanted to ask of you. Thank you for indulging me. Is there anything I can tell you about to catch up for the time I've been gone?
Well, the history of the Von Grutzner Company is always pretty well known. Well, at least it's public releases anyway, but I am curious of one thing. What is it like to grow up in the Von Grutzner house?
What's it like? Well, I can certainly say that when I first arrived, I didn't deal well with the open space, for sure. Even here in Dorahl, with the dwarven style of building, it's all very close together. Uh, Mother isn't ostentatious by any means, but she does need to entertain her guests and clients and the like, so there's a certain amount of ballroom and display that needs to be apparent, but I always felt a little lost, and sometimes I coped by hiding a bit. Uh, Food, also. I got sick a lot in the first uh, few weeks because I would just eat all of the food that whenever I found it, and all of the meals. I was not used to being able to just eat when I needed to, so I tended to gorge when the opportunity came. That took a little while to get out of. But Mother was very attentive. She couldn't be there all the time, business wouldn't allow that, but she always tried to make sure that whenever she felt like something important needed to be taught, be that uh, lessons on how to live a proper life, morality. Um, whenever I got in trouble, she was always the one who would come and make sure that I understood why I was in trouble and what why a punishment was the way it was. Um, but she did pick out tutors and such for me to help whenever she wasn't around. I I had plenty of opportunities to be with other children, but I didn't really get along with the other noble ladies in training. Uh, just not interested in the same things, and they always were taking the measure of each other, family status wise. It felt difficult. So I'd say it wasn't always comfortable from that respect, but I I was always well cared for, and Mother ensured that I had every opportunity to enhance my education, to follow whatever line of inquiry I wanted. She made it clear that I would be heiress, but only if I wanted to take on that responsibility, and I do. I've gotten to see a lot of what our company is capable of, and I've gotten to contribute to it, even as young and inexperienced as I am. I I owe her so much.
Wow, that's quite something, and I'm sure you gave those other nobles something to think about, something new and different and necessary to talk about.
Mother always said she would never have gotten where she was if she didn't have the courage to innovate. And a few good friends here and there to provide the expertise she didn't. Nariko kind of looks gratefully over at Jade and Ren.
Wipes
Hey,
a little.
I don't think anyone ever goes out thinking I want to change the whole world, but I think change does happen, and I'm so very curious and interested in what we can do, what changes we can accomplish. So perhaps perhaps we will change the world a little bit.
Well, I know you're going to be quite busy doing so, but I do hope every once in a while we get to hear from you. It's nice to see you, Narco.
Yes, that's something I really should apologize for. I have so many pen pals, but I never really felt comfortable adding you to the list, and you certainly earned that right. So, um,
Oh, no, that's fine. You're living your life. You're doing all I could absolutely hope for you.
well, I will. I can't promise it will be incredibly regular, but I will certainly add you onto my list to send reports to. Certainly, once I reach Tremonto, and I've had a chance to really see the city itself and meet the Goldwaters, I'll have a lot to talk about.
I look forward to seeing what you decide.
Yeah. Thank you for taking some time to talk with us, Sarah. Is there anything else before we head out?
No, I don't believe so. It has been a pleasure seeing you, and I'm glad you're doing well. And I do wish
Thank you.
you safe journeys.
I wish for safe journeys for myself as well, but I'm not sure I can keep to that promise.
Of
Nariko laughs nervously, knowing
course.
that literally was talking about, okay, how can I make myself a target of a thieves' guild last night? Meanwhile, the day before, set off a thermobaric weapon inside of a mine shaft. Like, yes, safe. That is what I aim to accomplish. All right. Well, with that, Narco gives utmost thanks to Sareth, and will step outside from the orphanage. Probably take a deep breath when she's out. Okay.
Are you feeling well, Nariko?
Yes, I felt that chance to give her my thanks, and it was very well overdue. So I'm glad to have gotten that off my chest a bit.
She seems really nice.
Oh yes,
She's
it
really
is.
seems very fond of all the kids that come through here.
It's something I didn't really appreciate during my time here, which is why I wanted to set that straight now.
Well, can't imagine that he'd be in the best frame of mind, being 7.
True.
Um,
All right.
you said something in there. Well, you and Sarah said something in there about, and I just wanted to. I'm sorry. I know you're having a day, but I just wanted to say, Sarah said that your mum came in and picked you right away, like she had a feeling about you, or she was looking for you specifically. And she said that your mum has a bunch of gut feelings that tend to work out properly. Is that right?
She's as a businesswoman. I mentioned she thinks innovation is necessary. She's been several times where she's needed to jump at an opportunity or put faith in one of those new ideas, and I can say that her success rate is quite good. So
But not
yes,
perfect.
no. Mother always says perfection is never a state we reach, but something we strive for. But
Jade's just gonna reach out and gently give Nariko's shoulder a little squeeze, and she's just gonna say, maybe her gut feeling about you being someone who's gonna eventually take on the company if you want to, is that you also have gut feelings, and they might be contrary to hers. Because you can't have someone just say yes all the time, because then you don't innovate, right?
well, yes, I suppose that is true.
Maybe that's something to think about when you're going off to do really important things, no matter how important or how much you want to make something work for the benefit of whatever it might be. Sometimes the thing to do is to do the opposite, or the thing that no one expects, because that's really what's going to make it work. In case this isn't, I'm like, okay, I'm talking about you getting married, and I was trying not to go in a whole. I'm just maybe just.
I understand
I
what
didn't
you're
know if the
trying to
metaphor
say,
would
Jane.
work, and then I wasn't I didn't want you to be confused and then
No,
talking in circles. I just was trying not to put too much pressure on it. I'm just saying, maybe that's the reason she's not here, telling you what to do, but letting you figure it out.
that's. I mean, you're not wrong. The purpose of me going on this journey alone, at least initially, was to let me kind of spread my wings a bit. I do think you're right in that she trusts in my ability. Not. I don't think she sees me as just some part of her plan and adopt me just so she could then marry me off one day. She wants me to be her successor. She trusts me. But to the same degree, I trust her, so I owe it to her to give this plan a shot.
That's fair. Just make sure at the end of the day that you trust in yourself just as much.
That's kind of why I need to more information. I need to pull some resources. I need to get some practice, or at least better experience on how all of this courting stuff works.
Oh, maybe. Well, I can't help with. Maybe we can start writing things down, and then you'd have like a booklet that you could read
Yeah,
back on.
that could be helpful. I
Yeah.
definitely need to stop by Yuki and run some things by her. But we have another stop to make. Just over at the temple. I need to
Oh,
talk to
sure.
Father Vincent.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go.
Does the other half of the party have anything that they want to jump in on before
Oh, Ren?
another scene happens?
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I was just gonna say Ren is still confused by the metaphor. He's a very concrete thinker.
He's in good company.
I tried the metaphor. It really wasn't working for me. I kind of abandoned it halfway through.
Back at the inn, Yuki, Reverie, Professor, anything you guys are doing? Anything you want to do? Anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, bacon.
There's bacon, coffee, orange juice, ham, toast, eggs aplenty.
Trevor is having a late breakfast.
Professor is still having breakfast. He just never really stopped eating.
Professor's the bottomless pit.
Yeah, he just kind of like, if he's not really eating, it's only because he's doesn't have food like readily available. But he'll continue eating as many canines do until he dies.
Yuki, anything from you? Yuki might be muted.
She might be away.
She might be away.
Haha, I'm not away. I forgot I muted my laptop as well as my headset.
Aha.
Ha 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 ha. Cats were screaming, and I was like, I don't want cats screaming to be heard. So, it's a good time. Yuki will also have a late breakfast. And while she's having breakfast, she's just gonna try to eavesdrop, not engage with the dwarves. She's just gonna eavesdrop and hear how things are going.
Nothing really too exciting to hear. They're plotting out their how to properly get back in the mines, reopen them, and now they are working with um, Kenneth, corresponding with the ship back and forth, with contracts are being drawn up. They're kind of negotiating terms. Kenneth isn't actually here; they're just kind of communicating via Modrin, but nothing too exciting.
Okay.
Um,
I am listening, Krakas.
no hot goss to be had at the moment.
Damn.
Flash cut back to the Temple of a Martyr. As you guys
That's it.
approach, the doors are wide open. It is a nice sunny morning, and you do see that Father Vincent is out and about. Uh, he's watering and taking care of some of the plants that are around inside the temple.
Nariko will rock forward. Good morning, Father Vincent.
Ah, good morning. It's the Mystic Mechanicus, is it?
Oh, wow, that name got around quickly.
Well,
There's only like 5 people in the town.
well, for now there is, but I'm sure with the mines opening back up, you'll see things picking up quite a bit. We're very excited for that, and we have you to thank for it.
No thanks necessary. Father Vincent, I had a request. I was very young, so my memory is a little jumbled, but perhaps you were there at the time. I actually was looking to visit a couple of gravestones that you could perhaps point me to.
Roll. He smiles and nods, and he says, "I suppose I could take a guess as to who they belong to."
Narco just kind of gives a nod.
He smiles warmly and he says, "Of course, follow me." And he'll take you through the temple. There's kind of like a side door that leads out to a peaceful garden. There's a nice stretch of green grass, a big tree kind of plopped right in the middle of it. Um, Throughout this area, you see that there are some very simple grave markers that are lined throughout this field. And Father Vincent leads you over a couple rows back, too deep, to some very modest markers that are simply etched with a couple of names and dates. The names on these uh, markers are, typing them out, Masako and Yoshio Tondra. He leads you over to them, and he nods and he kind of touches your arm gently, and he says, "Please take as long as you wish. I'll give you some privacy if you."
Thank you, Father.
And he turns and goes back towards the temple.
Ren had followed this far, but he kind of looks around confused. Do you want me to give you privacy as well?
Um, no, you don't have to leave, Ren. Um, actually, I could use some advice. What, when people want to, I guess, pay respects or send a message to those who passed, is there any sort of proper way to do so?
Let's go see what Ren remembers. Mm, uh,
Being a cleric of Thanatos, I'll give you advantage on this roll.
okay, but I'm still saying Ren doesn't remember shit. So
Oh,
let's see
okay.
if it goes any better.
Okay.
That's what I thought. Maybe just think nice thoughts about them and think what you want them to know. Or you could talk to them. Yeah, you could talk to them.
Talking sounds alright. He sort of like takes a breath and tries to like concentrate and put his thoughts in order. Hello, Mom and Dad. Sorry it took me so long to come and visit. I'm doing well. Um, Lady Katerina von Gritzner took me in. She's been my mother now for about 10 years. Done a very good job. I've been very well cared for. I always had a roof over my head. I never went hungry. Got to get an education. People even say I'm pretty smart. I wanted to stop by and see you because I'm going to be leaving Uzra for a while. I'm going on a long trip, and I might even be getting married. So I don't know if what you wanted from my life. You didn't get much of a chance. I don't even remember you that well. The faces, some songs that you sung for me. But I remember when you passed, the priest was saying that Ilmater would definitely take you in and take good care of you because no matter what happened, you were always trying to make sure I would be okay, shouldering burdens and all that. So I hope that you are happy for me. And he kind of just freezes up, not sure what to say.
Jade will lay her hand just very gently on Nariko's back.
Anna swallows. All right, I made some friends. That probably doesn't sound great, but I didn't really find good friends to have for a long time. But I'm not alone. I have Mother, I have Newman and Kenneth. I have pen pals, and I have the Mystic Mechanicus, as we call ourselves. We saved the day in Dorahl. I was very sad to see what had happened here when I arrived. I'm glad I could help. I guess what I'm saying is thank you. I guess I do miss you. Mother's been very good to me, but being here kind of reminded me that I lost you guys, but you lost me too. I hope that you're okay where you are. I think that's it.
That was really nice, Nariko.
Do you feel better?
I kind of feel like crying.
That's okay.
I cry a lot. If you need to cry, it's really good sometimes.
Okay.
Want to sit here for a little bit and we'll cry together?
Yeah, let's for a minute.
Sit down next to Nariko.
Nariko just kind of sits down, She doesn't look at the gravestone. Instead, she's just trying to like look up at the sky, which looks all nice and bright and beautiful. It's all thanks to her and her friends. And she's trying to let that be a little bit of happiness, to kind of face away a little bit of the emotion that is happening right now.
Sitting in this space, Jade and Ren, with your call it otherworldly connections,
Yes.
you feel a little bit of a spark in the air as the wind kicks up, and it's a gentle breeze that blows across, comes off the ocean, so it's cool and has that like salty scent to it. Blows through the large tree in the center of this area, rustles its leaves. You notice a single leaf kind of blows off the tree, and it flutters and it dances in the air and loops around itself, and it begins to blow your way, and it lands, Nariko, on your shoulder, kind of gets caught in your lapel. You realize the color of this leaf is red, which is unseasonable. There are no other red leaves on this tree, it's all green. So the single red leaf kind of catches in your lapel, and Red and Jade, with your connection, it's almost as if you kind of feel as if Nariko's words were heard and acknowledged in this
And look over.
sacred
sorry.
kind of space. Sorry, no, go ahead.
Ren will look over at Jade to see if she senses the same thing he does.
Jade is watching the leaf when this happens, and she's just got this really just very soft smile when she sees it. And she's gonna look at Ren and then at Nariko. And she says, sometimes, you know, when I talk to things that aren't here, they send me messages in strange ways, because they can't talk the same way. I think you all, Scott. I think it was really good that you came out and had a chat, Noriko.
This felt like something I probably should do. You know, wouldn't do to go out and get married without at least telling the parents, right?
She's gonna reach out. Is the leaf still stuck to Nariko?
Yep.
She's gonna reach out and very gently untangle it from her lapel so she doesn't rip it. And she'll hand it to her.
What's this?
A message.
He looks at the leaf. Is red a good color for a message?
Do you like the color red?
I sort of looks down. Really more of a blue girl myself. Looks over. Ren, do you know about what it might, like, the symbolism or something?
I do not believe it is so much related to color, just the acknowledgement that you have been heard.
Oh, okay. But
Leaves
heard.
change colours. I don't think they can change blue, but they can change red.
Okay.
Some trees can change blue, but they're not trees that are here.
So, they got my message. I don't know what they would say in return, but that's okay.
Sometimes it's nice just to know they're listening.
Yeah.
Keep this. Take it
Okay.
with you. And then when you get another message, maybe you keep that one too.
Okay. Nariko is going to later go through her stuff where she has like a little kind of like, I don't want to say a binder, but some sort of kind of booklet where she kind of keeps track of her correspondence. One is for like between her and her mother, and she's going to like find 2 blank pages and kind of like press the leaf in there to be its own message in that chain. Now it's the book for all of the clans.
When Nariko goes to eventually when we leave and Nariko goes to press her leaf, Jade will just hang next to Ren. But did you feel that too? When the leaf was flying?
Yeah, I felt something here.
It felt good.
I suppose it makes sense that communication could be held in a place such as this.
Be surprised where it can be held.
Mm,
Some of it's just more peaceful than others.
I suppose. Nariko seems very stressed.
She's got a lot going on, I think.
Mm,
Between, wanting to make her mum happy and being on her own for the first time and, nearly getting stabbed and then getting speared and then almost dying. Yeah, it's been a long few days. That seems like it's been months.
that could be draining on anyone, I suppose.
I think so. And not to mention that she's supposed to go off and get married to a man she's never even met before.
Is that typical?
I don't think so, but I
Mm,
don't really know because I've not had that. Maybe, it might be.
are
Maybe.
you okay?
I'm fine. I'm good. I don't know, so I can't say.
Mm, very strange. Our group is quite odd.
We seem to work well, though.
There is that.
How are you feeling after all this?
I seem to remain alive. That is the current goal.
That's a pretty big goal each day. Wake up.
Seems like a reasonable place to start.
Do you dream when you're asleep?
I do not remember.
Hmm.
Perhaps I do. I do not know.
Well, maybe you'll find that will come back to you in time too.
Perhaps.
Let's go find the others.
Having finished pressed her leaf, and Nariko rejoins Jade and Ren. Says, thank you for coming with me for that. It's
Of course.
nice to have someone who know a little bit more about that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. From here, I'm just going to be picking up some parts here in town to work on a new project. So we can go back to the inn, and I hope everyone's like up and had their breakfast by now. Gregory sleeps in a lot, doesn't she?
She does. She tends to like to sleep till like 10 or so. I don't think anything's wrong. I think she just looks to sleep.
Does she stay up late like I do?
Sometimes, but she usually goes to bed when you go to bed. But, I mean, she's in bed when we go, when like any time that before now, when we weren't all in the same room, and she would go, "I'm going to bed, good night," and she'd go to bed. It's not like she stayed up, except for that one night where she stayed up reading all night, and I told her not to stay up reading all night, but she did stay up reading all night, and then she's really tired the next day. But outside of that, she usually sleeps. I think she just likes to sleep in.
Okay.
So she goes to bed, except when she does not go to bed.
Yeah, but
Makes
that's only
sense.
that one time so far, and a few times before that when she was really, really stuck on something.
Mm.
Let's go see her and greet the day together.
Yeah, that sounds good. Bren, did you want to get breakfast?
Breakfast. I did not get breakfast. I shall get breakfast.
It's still breakfast time.
Yes.
We'll get something to eat with the others, and maybe we go out. And I'll need to get another dress. I only have the two, and I wasn't really planning on this much blood. All so I thought I'd have more time to clean. So I probably need to get at least one more dress.
That would be wise. Is there not magic for that?
Oh, I'm sure there is. I just don't have it.
Nor do I, but I do not wear dresses.
No, but you got a really nice coat.
My cloak is very functional. It keeps me warm and has pockets.
Yeah.
Mm.
So we return to the inn. I believe everybody is up and having breakfast by now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Those of you out in the tavern see Jade, Ren, and Nariko make their way back in mid-conversation.
Good morning, everyone. So, she's away.
Good morning.
Did you sleep well?
Surprisingly, yes.
Good.
I'll let
Oh,
you speak to you.
yeah, I mean, I had some good conversations with David, and then watched the room. But it was a nice night. Garrick had this little music playing most of the evening, so it was really nice.
You guys were all out already?
Yeah, Noriko had to talk to some people. But we're back now. We were thinking about going to get some things at the market if the market is still open. Did anyone wanna, after we have breakfast, wanna go and do that?
Sure.
Right.
Overhearing you talk, Garrick kind of looks at you, Jade, and he says, I'd be surprised if really there are many vendors left that have decided to open again yet so soon. A lot of them closed down during the downturn, but I think Merowyn returned to the armory. As far as anybody else, I can't say anybody else has really returned yet. I'm not sure really what you'll find over there.
Oh. Well, I guess it doesn't hurt for us to go looking though, right?
He shrugs and he says, nah, couldn't hurt at all.
Super then. We'll just go after breakfast, which is bacon, and I'm gonna sit here and eat. Yuki and Professor, did you sleep well?
Sorry, Yuki will come over and join everybody, seeing them coming inside. She'll say, yes, I slept very well, thank you. I'm sorry I missed you guys this morning. I was in a nice warm sunbeam.
Oh, you have a sunbeam?
Mm. Yes, sunbeams are so wonderful to just curl up and sleep. It's like it warms your whole body.
Okay. I've never done that, but it sounds lovely.
Oh, you should, you should. We will find a sunbeam for you.
Maybe not for me, but I'll watch you in the sunbeam. That sounds great.
Yuki will get the attention of Garrick's wife.
She smiles and she says, "Morning, love. What can I do for you?"
Good morning. If I were looking for herbs of this region or some sort of natural remedies, where would be the best place to look around town in the forest glades, such places?
I'm not gonna find much forest or glade here on the mountaintop. You might be able to find some stuff growing out of the rock, but you'd have to climb a bit of ways. We used to have an herbalist here in town, but she's been gone for a while.
That is too bad.
Yeah, Bess was great. Miss her a lot.
Fucking Bess. Well, I guess thank you for your information. You see, when I go places, I would like to try to find some sort of herb that represents town or this region. You see, I make tea, and I would like to make a tea that represents Dorahl.
Jeffrey had a strawberry earlier.
I don't know if we want that strawberry yet.
Oh no, I just meant. Oh, should he make the strawberry? Did he make the strawberry? I thought he got the strawberry from here and to use the strawberry. You probably don't want to use it if he made the strawberry.
Yuki smiles at Jade and she says, "No, he didn't make it. They're doing an experiment. Him and the professor."
Um. Okay. I don't have really words for that. Right. Do you want a strawberry then?
No. See, I can find strawberries, in many towns. Just trying to find something specific to Dorahl. It's fine. It's fine. There's no worries.
Get you a nice rock.
She smiles and says, "We could get a nice rock."
So you want? Oh, we can go. Yeah, we can find you a nice rock when we're out and about. I know you can't make tea with it, but you might. I mean, I guess you can make rock. I heard of someone make rock soup one time, but I don't know if that was a metaphor. Or if they. I think they actually had the rock in it.
Not sure how well that would go in tea, but we can try it.
Pebble rock. We'll find out. We'll find something, I'm sure. And we'll just go looking in the dirt. What?
We will find something for sure. How was your breakfast?
Oh, this is great. I have these oats with strawberries, and I'll have all this bacon and this orange juice, and it tastes really good when you eat them all separately. And I have one egg. But I already ate that, so it's gone already. What's everybody else having?
Bacon, eggs, and toast for me.
That sounds good.
Professor
Another
Slides is.
sandwich. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Professor slides his half-finished bowl like to the other side of the bar and kind of slumps back into his seat. Like, everything.
Oh, well, it's good breakfast. I'll probably just have this a little bit. I don't need a lot.
Ren eyeballs. Oh, sorry.
Nope, go ahead.
Ren eyeballs what the professor says, and says, I want that, but with sugar.
Garrett kind of nods and says, "Yeah, it's a lot better with sugar." And he kind of like looks at the professor with kind of like a strange eye, and he'll fix you up a bowl of oats, sprinkle some sugar on it, and just pass it over.
Oh, but it's
said it.
perfect on its own. You can really taste the agriculture.
Yeah, Ren snorts. Do you have any sugar as cubes?
Sugar cubes. As a matter of fact, I do. And he'll turn around and produce a small bowl of cubes of sugar.
Yeah.
Excellent. They taste much better in this form.
Do they? Is it a texture thing?
I believe it is enhanced by the quality of the shape.
So a geometric thing then.
Quite.
Do you want me to make something else into a square for you?
Such as?
I don't know. I could cut this strawberry into a square shape.
I was going to decline, but I'm curious to see where this would go.
Okay. You tell me. We'll try an experiment. And you take this strawberry that's regular, and then she cuts up a strawberry into like a little cube, and then you try this strawberry that's square, and you say which one's better, and then we'll know because it's testing it, right? She's gonna look at Nariko when she says that. Science.
Nariko looks up from the letter she's writing. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I missed that. What?
I'm gonna experiment with the taste of food if it's better when it's in the square.
Oh, do you? I might actually be able to rationalize that out. Do you want me to explain?
Sure, Ren's still gonna try it though.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Ren's eyeballing the strawberries, and y'all holding them out of reach. Wait a second.
Oh no, Jade gave me the strawberries.
Yay, strawberries.
Yeah. Is it a geometric thing that makes it taste better?
Well, it's actually increasing the available surface area. Allows for the digestive enzymes to break it down more comprehensively, so you get a greater rush of flavor sooner as it's broken down to be taken up upon your tongue.
Oh, so it is science.
The professor, we are doing science. Are we doing it correctly?
Oh, that's the beauty of science. There's no wrong way to do science. Everything is science, from the rising of the sun to the way in which the ripples cascade over a placid lake when you drop a rock into it. You've got this. You're doing it perfectly.
I'm pretty sure there's
Professor,
one
I
way
still
to do
question some
things.
of your plans.
Narco like raises up a finger, like, Professor, that's very poetic, but also no, there is a correct way to do science.
Jade points at Nariko. I agree with what she said.
Ren looks at the strawberries. Which do I try first?
Try the regular one first, because then it's the one with the less flavour, and then you'll know if the other one has more flavor right away.
Do I try it on its own or with the sugar and oats?
Oh, try it by itself first, and then we'll add the others.
Okay. So he'll try strawberry on its own. How do I evaluate if I like a strawberry?
They're delicious.
I know they're delicious. I don't know what Ren thinks, though.
All for
What do you
taste.
think, Ren? Do you like strawberries? Okay, he likes strawberries. Strawberries are okay.
All the
Strawberries are okay.
all the stock of strawberries and stuff, and passing them around. Next to you, Professor Jeffrey holds up the bowl of strawberries that he's been holding apparently all night long.
Such a good boy.
Poor Jeffrey. He wasn't even allowed to eat one.
How they look?
They look like strawberries.
Like strawberries.
Yes, Jeffrey, what would you like?
Just kind of. Jeffrey kind of tilts their head, looks up at you, and the impression that you get from them is that. Do you want this back yet?
No, keep holding it, please.
There's like a huff as Jeffrey's space tentacles kind of like blow up with his breath. And he just takes the bowl back.
It's fine. It's fine. They're just strawberries.
Kind of reaches into the bowl with one tentacle.
Don't you dare.
Pulls back.
No. Yeah. Don't eat them.
Oh, Professor, that's not nice. What if he's hungry?
You can have anything else they want to eat. Are you hungry? Would you like something to eat? I mean, you could even have strawberries, just not those strawberries. Those are science strawberries.
Here, Jeffrey, I can give you strawberries that I have.
See, you can have some of hers. Mind your fingers.
Jeffrey will reach out with the face tentacles and start picking some out, and kind of like elephant feeding them to himself.
And Jade will just let him have her strawberries. Well, someone might as well enjoy them. Yeah?
You were not enjoying them?
Oh, no, I was. But now, Jeffrey gets to enjoy them.
I suppose that makes sense. I have found I do not like the square strawberries, so the ability is not transferable. But the square sugar cubes are acceptable.
Oh, okay. Well, we tried, and now it has been reviewed.
Ren's gonna go back to eating his oats with sugar cubes. Making happy Ren noises.
With that, it's 11 o'clock. This feels like a good place to stop for the evening.
Yeah!
Happy
Those
red
work, guys.
noises
I like all the
are
BS.
red noises are absolutely where we should stop.
I want to know what the happy red noises are, and I feel like this needs to be demonstrated.
Do it!
I love it.
I love it.
Apparently Ren likes to eat. Good to know.
Good to know. We're finding things out about Ren every day.
Yeah, so is
Yeah.
Ren.
So is Ren.
Well, I now have a reason to learn the mending cantrip.
Why is that?
Because we are going to need it if our clothes keep getting ruined.
Valid.
That's fair.
Look, I only have 2 dresses. And I spent last night sewing my glove back together so there wasn't a giant hole in it.
Valid.
So fun.
So I think I'm gonna be giving out 3 roleplay awards tonight.
Oh,
Ooh.
Because
3?
I absolutely loved the conversation between Yuki and Professor.
Yes.
That was amazing. Bringing
That
back
was really
Ketch,
good.
tying in Ketch to
Oh my gosh, Catch.
people's characters, which is fantastic.
Catch.
And then also like to give one to Nariko for all going around and talking to Seraph and spending some time at the parents' graves.
Beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fully support.
I back nominate Ren for honorable mention for roleplay for 1, the sugar cubes, 2, trying to figure out what to say to Nariko when they're like, can you help me figure out how to talk to the spirits of people that I used to care about?
No, not really,
used to
but
care
I'll
about,
try.
did care about. And then like Ren being like, I don't remember stuff, guys, but sure, I will try.
Yeah. That's what I got.
So cute.
So good.
With Professor having 2, yeah, we'll give that one to Ren.
Ooh, thank you.
All right, guys, I gotta go see bees. I gotta go to stupid work tomorrow.
Okay.
Have a good
Yeah, but
night.
you have awesome work later.
Night.
Before you
I
go,
know.
we have to go around and say we all learned today.
That's right. What did we learn from this session, everyone?
We learned shit?
Yes.
Fuck.
I thought all we did was feel emotions.
I know.
We learned that so long as we're not alone, everything's a little bit easier.
Oh.
I learned hexagons are the best shape, and ghosts can make leaves change color.
I took that to mean that like because of the necrotic energies of the dead, it basically forced the leaf to change color because it was touched by something. Like when Ren got out of the rose bush and the roses were dead and wilted and then slowly came back to life. Or ghosts are magic and leaves change colors.
So I said options.
I'm just imagining like the ghost on the other side of like, what? No, you turn the leaf over. We wrote an entire letter to you on the other side and like 2-foot font. What are you doing?
I mean, they didn't throw it away, so that's already good news. That's progress. So usually it doesn't even get looked at.
I will say like if Jade and Ren were not there, Nariko would have completely missed the fact that a leaf had landed on her, let alone that it was the wrong color.
Yep.
Yeah, that's okay.
Friendship. Is the meaning always friendship, guys?
Probably.
No, that's lame. We can do better.
Well, I mean, the session last time was violence, so
Wait, we
Violence
learned
is
about
always the
violence?
answer.
Shit. I wasn't paying attention.
Violence is always the answer.
violence is not always the solution, but it is the answer.
Agree. I learned tonight that I know the name of Naruko's parents
Cool.
and where they
Nice.
were buried. Because I didn't know that before.
I'll be honest, they were lost at sea, so I don't know whether or not their actual bodies were retrieved to be buried, but they do have gravestones.
Right. Where their memory is laid to rest.
I learned that the professor may be engaging in animal cruelty by making a familiar hold a bowl of strawberries for an entire night.
Oh,
It's true.
I have seen you destroy familiars in fire and violence, and you're telling me holding
So many
strawberries is.
First of all, they're made of light and it kills them instantly. You're
Amazing.
making him
Not
stand there
mine.
holding strawberries for a whole night. Poor Jeffrey.
He likes
Get
it.
him, Mars.
He's not even
Get him.
allowed to eat them, so he just has to sit there looking at these delicious strawberries, not eat them. Meanwhile, Fireball, and he's dead in a second.
Get him, Mars.
Oh,
They're allowed to eat whatever they want, whenever they want, anything they want, but those strawberries.
And he
So
has to hold the bowl.
very important. I learned that Catch is Yuki's brother, and I know that she means that and that he was at the monastery for a time. I am going to forget that point and just going to remember that they're brother and sister. So too
Yep.
bad.
I can't wait.
Amazing.
Mars, there's an echo coming through your mic, man.
No, I keep forgetting to pause it.
I learned that
Is
Centaur
this microphone is like
racism is
endless?
cool as long as it's funny.
What was that, Suzanne?
I learned that Centaur to horse racism is fine as long as it's funny. Sugar cubes.
So long
It's not
as
racist
you're
if you're
allowed
the
to
one
say it.
saying.
Yeah, that's exactly
You're
right.
the centaur, so
Look.
you're allowed to say it.
Look, Ren likes sugar cubes. Yuki likes fucking around in sunbeams and then getting high on catnip and knocking glasses off the tables. So.
Hell yeah.
Yup,
To be fair, she got high off of coffee.
she did. Although she
Let's put
did
some
get.
catnip in the coffee.
Yeah,
You're
there might have been
stimulated.
some nip in the coffee. You never know.
You nipping?
So
Man?
the problem is there's not enough like common fox stereotypes for us to be fox racist against the professor too.
We'll figure
So we
one
gotta
out.
fix that.
We'll fix
You
it.
could
We'll
start
fix that.
asking, what does the fox say?
Oh, what did you say, Professor?
Ding 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 ding
I
ding ding
have an
ding
Excel file that says everything that the fox says.
Oh, God.
Do you have the time and willpower to actually listen is the real question.
Full disclosure, I've never listened to that song.
So you
It
should watch
is.
the Glee version with the puppets because it's
You're lucky.
horrifying.
Nah, I'm good.
It's a fun time.
I'm good.
All right. I'm gonna go to bed though.
Yeah, I gotta take
Love
off too.
you.
Have a good night, everybody.
Take a night, love
Night,
you.
adios.
And I'm gonna sign off this recording by saying stereotypes exist for a reason.